Hello everyone, my name is Madison and welcome back to Hopp'in, and today I'll be talking about why more experienced people should work in pet stores. Now I'm going to say this up front because I know a lot of people might misinterpret this wrong. I am not suggesting or encouraging the purchasing of animals from pet stores. The reason for this video is so that we can change how poorly these animals are cared for and bred. It's not there yet, so I'm not suggesting it. Please avoid it. Reptile fairs, sustainable breeders, Josh's Frogs is my favorite online breeder. They're absolutely amazing. I'm not suggesting purchasing at this moment from pet stores because they are not good. So just gonna get that out there right away. That is not the purpose of this video. Members of the herptile community know that pet stores are not good. The corporations are taking advantage of animals' well-being for profit. Corporations are to blame and are the cause of all of this neglect and poor breeding and poor care. But the people who are allowing this to happen and are orchestrating this are also taking some of the blame. Each strong wave is made by drops of water. Without them, there would be no wave. So if you change what those drops are doing, it can change an angry ocean to a calm sea. If we have more experienced exotic and small animal owners within pet stores, that means the animals that are staying there are going to receive better care, be more healthy. Then these more experienced workers can give out proper care to people looking to purchase an animal, can suggest the proper supplies, and can just change how these animals are cared for. We need this change because no matter how much you say how bad these breeders are and how these corporations are taking advantage, there will always be somebody who purchased them. There will always be somebody who uses plastic. There will always be somebody who does the thing. So you might as well change it so that it's better for everybody, including the animals, and most importantly, the animals. It's very easy to get a team position at a pet store. I personally do not work at a Petco or PetSmart. I'm not going to say the name of the company because I'm not speaking on behalf of them. I'm talking about my personal experiences, so this isn't like a promotional thing for them. But essentially, the entire view of this pet store that I work at is to be better than Petco and PetSmart. It is very team-based, meaning they give the store a lot of power to decide how they take care of their animals, what animals they bring in, what products they carry, etc. So this could be really good for an educated team, like I happen to be in, but really bad if it isn't an educated team, if you know what I mean, because then they can, decide how these animals are cared for, and if they don't know how to, it can be really bad. But we don't have a corporation, pulling the strings on ours, so all of our animals are properly cared for, and we have a vet that comes in, etc. They're properly cared for because of the team members that are experienced. For example, something as simple as how we used to take care of our hermit crabs. We had this unit where it was a sliding front, so we could only have about 4 inches of substrate in the back. That isn't adequate for hermit crabs. So we were able to get a new unit by my discretion of suggesting it, and now we can have 6 to 8 inches of substrate in there, so it's perfect for them. And the old unit, we couldn't really set up our chameleon cages properly. But now we can, suction cup vines on the side and have all this, the vegetation, etc. So we have a proper veiled chameleon setup. However, what we cannot control is how the corporation designed the unit altogether. I'm very thankful and happy that it includes built-in UVB that is changed every 6 months, but the only heat source that Marineland, the company that makes these units, only has red lights for heat. So you can adjust the temperature. It's a specific bulb that they distribute to us. We can't go out and buy white lights. We can't put in heat emitters. So while they have the UVB they need and it's constantly being, replaced when they go out, we still have red lights. So while everything else is proper, there's still something that's wrong that we cannot change because of the corporations handle that. We can't, have them suddenly start producing heat emitters for us so that they have proper light. It's just something that's out of our hands. But that's exactly why small drops can lead to a trickle of change. I am a team worker, meaning I'm just, the basic cashier, stock, animal care. And when I turn 18, I can go on to become a shift manager. And then from a shift manager, I can become an assistant manager. And then assistant managers go on to become store leaders. And then store managers go on to become, district managers, to regional, to national, to corporate level positions. If you're someone who's passionate about business and animals, this is the perfect route for you. You could start as, a cashier at 16 years old, and when you're 40, you can completely change the face of this industry. I'm tired of people saying just to boycott these stores because yes, you shouldn't purchase these animals, but you shouldn't avoid them when it comes to how they're being run, because you can make change. Promise me, there is more power in the people than you think. I could have worked somewhere like McDonald's or Arby's when I, turned 16 and needed a job, but I decided to go to a pet store because I saw that there were issues in the store and I sought out to fix them, and I have. As much as I can as a 17-year-old cashier and stock worker, I have changed as much as I possibly can. But I don't want to stop there. My friends who are the shift managers and the assistant managers are making such great changes, and it all sparked from their own personal love of animals and my influence. For example, our assistant manager is the person who orders the animals. We have decided to no longer support the industries that Petco and PetSmart use because, quite honestly, they were awful. The only other option we have is not amazing, but it's far better than where they get their animals from. And then our assistant manager no longer purchases the hermit crabs that have the painted shells, because this is just wrong for a million reasons, especially since they removed the shell forcefully to paint on them and then forcefully put them back onto the hermit crabs. So we no longer support that, and that's just a simple thing that could change so many hermit crabs' lives. Can you imagine if all the stores on the East Coast stop carrying these hermit crabs? They will stop doing that because it's no longer making them money. So it sounds crazy, but trust me, that's all it takes is for one assistant manager to not like it anymore. He tells his friend. That's exactly what happened here. Now every store in my district does not carry these colored shells hermit crabs. And it all came from me saying, hey, this is actually really bad. I'm gonna show you a video as to how they do this. And that spark made this, huge explosion of change. Now, why can't you just tell them to stop, carrying certain species? Well, we do have to carry a variety. It's a part of, the corporate plan for our store. We have to carry a good variety of animals. But when you can make that change that helps these animals, you're gonna wanna do it. Another very big thing is getting these animals to a vet. Most of them come in sick. It's the sad truth, but it's what happens. Now, a lot of vets will just sweep these animals under, the rug because they know they're sick, they know they have bad genetics, so they just don't even bother. I do not let that happen. My team does not let that happen. We will go in and just sit down in their lobby and say, we know that this, white street frog has a bacterial infection. You need to give us the medication that they require. I have a feeling a lot of PetSmarts and Petco people do not do that. That is why you need to get into these positions if you have, a passion for animals and you have experience with exotic and small animals. You can make that change. If you go in and you see that dwarf hamsters aren't supposed to be housed together, you can get a position there and you can change that. I promise you, it's possible. Not everyone is some evil villain like the corporate people are. You can make change. You can make real change even if you're just 16 and this is your first job. You hold more power than you think you do. So don't think of it as you taking on the burden of this awful corruption. Take and just look at your store. What can you change in the store that you are in? How can you better these animals' lives? How can you suggest better products? Because when you suggest better products, these companies aren't getting revenue off of the awful things that they make. There are people who will literally come in and say, hey, we got a leopard gecko, we weren't really prepared for it, what do I need? And you can literally put in their cart what they need and they'll just purchase it. It happens. It sounds crazy, but it happens. So if you have an experienced person, you can give them everything they need to better this animal's life. The animal's already purchased. You can't change where they got them from, so you might as well make their lives better and get companies that actually make good products better revenue so that they produce more of the good stuff, and the companies that make the bad stuff they just lose revenue off of it. They're not going to make something they lose money off of. So I'm not saying to take on the burden of this awful animal abuse industry, but I'm saying that each person can make change in their local community, and all these drops of water can lead to huge waves of change on a corporate level. And again, I'm not saying to go out and purchase these animals. I don't even suggest purchasing them from my store when I know that I've taken proper care of them, because genetically they're not good and you don't want to be giving money to these industries. These industries aren't good yet, but with your help, you can make change. So if you're looking to work at a pet store, I've created a video on things you should know before you go into work at a pet store. It's more focused on people who don't have animal experience, but I go over a few things that are worth noting before you go into it. Again, not for everybody who owns exotic animals. This video is just saying to not boycott working at these places. Boycott the animals because the industries are awful, and that's something that's going to take a lot of people to change, and boycott the poor products that these industries sell. But you can make change. You can make local change, which can spark so much more than you think. I didn't think me just saying, hey, this isn't great for hermit crabs would change my entire district, but it did. So you never know. You don't know your power until, you just go out and you do it. So the video that I made about pet stores is more focused on people who are unsure if they want to work at a pet store and don't have experience, but again, there's some things to note in there, especially if you're going into stock or you're going to be a cashier. But this is just food for thought. It's my personal belief, and I am very happy with the things that I've personally done and all of my team members have done, including our our shift manager team and our assistant and store manager have done. They've made so much change, and I can just tell how it's helped these animals. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of what everyone in my store has done. So you can make so much more change than you think. Again, small drops of water lead to huge waves of change. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If there's something you think I should have added, or you have your own opinion on this matter, please comment down below. I love to discuss things. That's how we all learn and grow. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Leave a like and subscribe for more, and have a happy day. Goodbye.